Andy, into the courts.
The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Which means that your heirs are not going to suffer.
Like certain Bible verse, like the third and fourth generations, those who hate me.
Yeah.
You do bad, Zane, Sandy, and their kids are going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Not under this law.
Yeah, they don't take away your property. They don't, they don't declare anything with your heirs. You're on your own. It's all about you. Your children can inherit from you.
That's corruption of blood.
Yeah, that's corruption of blood. Corruption of blood was, and it's outlawed in the UK now too, and was, about 200 years ago. But at the time of the Constitution, it was still a thing. If you were convicted of treason, generally speaking, your heirs could not inherit your property or titles. And, I study Elizabethan history, and there was not a lot of overt treason punished during Elizabeth's reign, mostly because she was kind of squeamish on the subject of executing people she knew personally for some reason. Can't imagine why.
That's the first one. That's the second one, right?
The first one, yeah. Her mother was executed for treason. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of her stepmothers.
I think that's relevant because I looked into this, and the Duke of York got most of his titles stripped because of his with that S being with his S.
Yeah, because of who his friends were and what he did with them. Let's say that.
But it's funny. I looked it up. He still has this Duke of York title. It was gone, but apparently his daughters can't inherit that because the laws are still outdated unless they changed that recently thing.
So I believe that's more to do with him being the king's son, or the queen's son, and that it will then go to.
Because I think for the longest time, the Duke of York passed to the king because he was the king, because the younger brother was the Duke of York became the heir apparent because his older brother either died or abdicated. So
yeah. So the reason his daughters are not going to inherit the title of Duchess of York is that instead it's going to go to, theoretically it could go to Harry, but failing that it'll go to William's children.
Yeah, Prince Louis. But I think it's the first time we actually have descendants of the Duke of York. So but mainly it's because it's not because it's not really a brother king thing. That's the reason. It's because girls can't inherit dukedom titles apparently.
Oh, yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me. That may have been one of the ones they changed. It is no longer the law that girls are skipped in the line of succession.
Yeah, but that's only for the major titles, not for lower titles like Duke. I looked that up.
It's actually why I was really, really hoping that William's firstborn would be a girl. Because she would be a queen regnant regardless of what her siblings were, and I was really excited by that prospect.
Yeah, but also that only counts for people born after 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
if you're born before that, you're still.
But they passed it before William had kids.
Yeah,
because I remember thinking about that.
Yeah, for that, but like I said, it's only eligible for kids born after that. If you're like Queen, her daughter Queen Anne is still at the bottom of the list over her brothers.
Though to be fair, the line of succession does just keep getting longer for her, because all of Charles's descendants have to die
And
first before
plus
they
her,
get
plus her two younger brothers too.
right. And all of their descendants.
But she's
So-
but she's before her own kids still.
Yeah. There's a movie called Kind Hearts and Coronets. I believe it stars Peter Sellers as literally everybody. Or maybe it's Sir Alec Guinness. No, I think it's Sir Alec Guinness as literally everybody. About the like 17th heir to something, killing off everyone who's ahead of him in the line of succession.
But yeah, also that's not the only law she overturns. Not only did she overturn over male preference primary to make absolute primary, they also overturned that you can marry a Catholic and still not lose your support. And you can't be a Catholic, but you can marry a Catholic now.
Yeah. So hurrah! No, it's amazing how much of the lower ranks of the line of succession are, but it doesn't matter because they're Catholic. Moving on.
I think it's because I forget whose kid it was, but one of her either grandsons or granddaughters married Catholic, and she didn't want them to lose the place.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is so weird and so complicated and takes so much time to explain. And frankly, maybe part of why there's a clause that we're going about there being no religious requirement for office in the United States, because nobody wanted to deal with that. But attainder of treason is basically taking away your stuff. Corruption of blood is you can't pass it on to your heirs.
And forfeiture
is you giving up your stuff, but it's only within your own lifetime. So they can fine you for treason, and certainly they can take away the profits of your treason. But it only works during your own lifetime.
And you said what's that last word you said in the thing?
Attainder. Attainder of treason is basically declaring you an outlaw and saying you have no place in society.
Okay.
So you serve your time and you're good, and it doesn't pass on to your heirs. And if you're executed, well, then you're executed, but it still doesn't pass on to your heirs.
And that's one of those late 17th, 18th century words.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes back way further than that. That one goes back through British law for about 1,000 years.
But without the issue, they probably probably sound different than then and now.
Yeah.
All right.
And it was on its way out in England as well. It got past the early 19th century that they abolished corruption of blood in the UK.
Yeah, I think that's mainly because a lot of this was for I'm guessing for nobility. If you treason, your kids
they don't get the title.
Yeah.
And it was largely about titles, which we don't have in this country officially. But it was also about inherited land. And the founding fathers, mostly, cared quite a lot about inherited land.
This was, again, in England, most of the inherited land was the nobility, unless...
Yeah.
But at this point, I think some commoners had land too. But anyways, I think with that, we are finally done with the courts.
Hooray!
And the major three branches.